Hey there, welcome into the store. How you doing there, buddy?
Oh, hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Hey, every day above ground, you know what they say, man? I'm doing great.
I hear what you're saying.
Doing great. What you looking for?
This is a nice place you got, and I don't really know what I'm looking for. I'm not entirely sure how I got here or where here is.
Number one, I know it's a nice place. It's my place. I know it's nice, but thank you for saying so. Number two, I can help. If you don't know what you're looking for, let me make some suggestions, eh?
I'm open to suggestions. Whatever you got.
Number three, doesn't matter how you got here. Just matters that you're here.
Well, I don't know. I kind of want to know how I got here so I can get out of here when I need to.
Hey, forget about it, okay? Just forget about it. Don't even worry about that. Listen, we got music, we got movies, we got comic books, we got a back room that I'm not going to talk about right now.
I'll be asking about that later,
Yeah. You and me, we'll take a walk back there. I'll show you around. Here's the question. What kind of music do you like?
What kind of music? I mean,
doesn't matter what you like, because I'm going to tell you what you're going to listen to. Listen, I just got a whole shipment in. I'm talking some spicy meatballs here of brand new things that are old things that I bet you never even heard. How about this one? This one is an album called Kezia by Protest the Hero. You ever listen to that album?
Not in my life.
Well, I'll tell you what, buddy. I got a fresh, shiny 8-track of it right here.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna put it in your hand, and you're gonna listen to it. You got an 8-track player?
Not on me. I could probably acquire one back home, but I don't really have one at this moment.
Listen, don't worry about it. Forget about it. You see that guy right over there? I know he's a regular. He's in here all the time. He's got an 8-track player in the van. Take this over to him. Have him bring you out to the van. Give it a listen. Go. Here, take it. Just go.
Oh, all right. Gabagool.
Gabagool. Gabagool.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Schmeevburger and Paradise Bar and Grill and Rehabilitation Relocation Center for Wayward Juggalos. This is, as it ever has been, your guy Schmeev here at the Bar and Grill on the beach, water in hand, and just ready to sit down and put on a little music to kick this beautiful sunny day off. But the music has been stripped from my hands and placed in the hands of another. But who?
It's me.
It's you.
It's me. I'm Eric. I was here before. It seems oddly familiar, but somehow completely different.
Everything has changed. It almost doesn't even feel like my burger in paradise anymore.
It's our burger in paradise. Yeah, this is
That's
different
true.
because previously when somebody would be I was going to say forced to visit the Schmeevburger in Paradise when they magically showed up there. I think the Schmeevburger in Paradise comes into your life when you need it most, is what it is.
Yeah, it's
you don't get to choose it.
It's like the Phantom toll booth.
Yeah. It's the Phantom Burger in Phantom Paradise. But normally, you are, as an attendee, exposed to music that you've probably never heard before. And this time, I was specifically asked to bring music with me.
Yeah.
So that's different.
So, I mean, you're here to bring something to me, introduce me to something that I've not heard before, but something that perhaps means something to you. And
it does.
What have you brought to me today?
Yeah, well, for anybody that's not familiar with who I am or what I do, I'm on another
who
podcast. called Twisted with Us. Well, also ICP with We. It's kind of the same show, but depending on what we're reviewing. But it's almost always Twisted or ICP music.
True. And I mean, if you go back far enough, ICUP with We.
That's true. We've changed names a couple of times. It's just a thing. And we may change names again in the future. We'll see. But normally this is not the type of music we get to talk about. So this is a wonderful change for me. It was also a wonderful change last year when I got to step into the Schmeevburger and listen to some music that I don't normally get to review. So that was cool.
Glad you enjoyed.
Yeah. But, you asked us to select something this time, and a bunch of things came to mind. I love music. It's like the most important thing in the world to me, art form wise, right? There, people that are more important and things, but music paramount when it comes to art to me. So I could have brought you a bunch of things that I think you would very much dislike, but instead I opted to bring you something that I thought, maybe we could take a journey together and include some elements that I think cross over into some of your personal music affinities. Maybe not everything that you'd like, but there's probably some things here that you'd find intriguing. So my selection today is an album called Kezia by the band Protest the Hero.
Yes. Now this is a band, I've heard of them before. Mm-hmm. And I've especially heard of them from you before. You've brought them up a couple times here and there. But also, I feel like for a very stupid reason, in my head, I would conflate them with Story of the Year, which is a very different band. And I think it's just because the only Story of the Year song that I knew was called The Hero Will Drown. And it just sort of like, they just meshed in a way. I don't know. It was stupid.
I just saw Story of the Year 2 weeks ago, and they were amazing live.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've heard they're good. Like I said, I've heard that one song because it was on like a Need for Speed or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe I should listen to them.
There's a bunch of, if you like that sort of post-hardcore, emo pop punk sort of mixture, there's some good tracks there. They put out an album last year that surprisingly has some great tracks on it. Really good stuff. But I see, this is a funny band name for me, Protest the Hero, because around the time that this got big, around the time this came out and was sort of popular within the community that likes this kind of thing.
Right.
I was just wrapping up being in a band called Die Like a Hero.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, these guys are ripping me off. And it might be the reason that I listened to this in the first place. But yeah, this album came out, they're from Canada. So it came out in 2005 in Canada. And then about 10 months later, in 2006, it released in the US, which is probably about the time that I heard it. And this is the reason I've talked about this with you before is we did our top 100 albums of all time together. This was on my list.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, I did a cursory glance into this band to find that, in fact, they weren't actually ripping off you. They were ripping off some other Canadian band.
Oh,
called
is that
Hail the Villain.
Oh, yeah. That's absolutely true. That's how they got their name, is that there was a band called Hail the Villain, and they kind of were like, it would be funny to name our band the opposite of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Did they ever? I wonder if they played anything together. I feel like that would be pretty cool.
I would go see that.
It would be cool and kind of awkward, maybe.
It would be, and I would hope that they fought to the death at the end. Only one can live.
It would be like Super Famous Fun Time Guys, but it's two full bands on stage,
right?
Wrestling each other,
and they would also be just playing a combined set, and just fighting it out. But
you would actually enjoy it,
right? I think I would. I do. I enjoy this album very much. As a matter of fact, this is one that, for as long as it's been out, every year or two, for some reason, I get in the mood to listen to it, and then I just get hooked on it for 2 or 3 weeks, just listening on repeat. So coming back to this was fun because I was due for a run of Kezia.
Hell yeah,
yeah.
And so This album
Yeah,
is a concept album.
it is.
It's also a debut album.
In a way.
I guess, what, singles, EPs, and stuff before this?
Yeah, they had 2 independent releases before this that weren't like proper full-length albums.
Okay.
Musically a little different, a little more along the lines of like a mathcore kind of thing that was, this was a bit of an evolution.
It's still in that zone, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a little more
It's
of
a bit mathy.
it's a bit mathy, but it still falls in that area where I could see it having not like mainstream success, but more than your average math.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It sits at the intersection of some strange genres and styles that maybe wouldn't normally make sense together, but I think they make it work here because you've got just enough leftover like hardcore and post-hardcore in there, and there's like definite like crossover thrash inspiration at parts, and then you've got some of the more straightforward metal, and there's a fairly generous helping of prog in this album as well, which I'm not a huge prog fan, but I've come to realize that if you throw a dash of prog into a genre that I like, I tend to enjoy it. Just, you have to be careful not to go too far in that direction.
Yeah,
but,
there's definitely a limit.
yeah. But I think this album, much as Goldilocks discovered, is the perfect balance because they had like the stuff before this that felt not quite there. And then a lot of the albums after this definitely went more in that metal and prog direction. I've tried to listen to a lot of the stuff and I find tracks that I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But this one is just right.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's definitely, even for me as a big prog guy, there's a limit where, I've listened. Rush is one thing. Rush was always like, they're prog, but they were definitely a rock band with a lot of like prog elements in them. But then you get into something like Dream Theater and they can write a damn good, straight ahead metal song with some cool, weird parts in it. But then sometimes they can also be like, hey, this is a cool groove, but what if it wasn't? What if you had 2 seconds to enjoy it?
Right. And I another band that comes to mind in that realm is like a Coheed and Cambria, which I know we both like. That you listen to their, actually, I was going to say their first 2 or 3 albums, but really across all of their albums, there's great, fun pop rock songs on those albums.
Absolutely.
But they also have albums that primarily veer deep into concept prog, like full on, let's find, a reason to make a 10-minute song in strange time signatures, okay.
I've never felt that they went too strange, but
no, but prog
they certainly go into,
they definitely delve that direction.
Oh, they've got section after section after section.
That's true.
And there is honestly a good bit of what we are going to listen to today.
There is
gave me vibes of that. I could make so many like sidelong references to other bands that I can hear influencing this that would maybe sound weird, but they're in there.
Yeah. And around this time, I things like Coheed and Cambria were, getting popular, getting some mainstream success. You had bands like Between the Buried and Me having released, stuff like The Silent Circus in Alaska that, came from a little more heavy and simple roots and then got a little more complex and proggy. And I was still sort of on that path. So I was very primed for an album like this at this time.
Hell yeah.
I think there's a lot of musically diverse elements to this album, even though it's, a straightforward, rock album, a lot of personality. It's somehow, to your point, technical, but fairly accessible. Vocals are just really awesome without, every once in a while you get some 80s cheese in the vocals, just for fun. There's some tongue-in-cheek metal nods at points, but the thing that's most interesting about it is that this album has, you said it, like it's a concept album and it's got something to say. It's got a story to tell, but it never adheres too strictly to let me tell from the perspective of character, let me tell the next story. It sort of tells it in a nonlinear way, and all the songs are used to make a statement. They're all here to say something. So the songs stand on their own as a song, but when you listen to them together and look at the lyrics and stuff and you go, oh, okay, I'm starting to understand the story. It's told from technically 4 perspectives, because you've got the first 3 songs. So the story is about a woman named Kezia who is being put to death for a crime. And the first 3 songs are from the prison priest. Kezia is in this prison, and the prison priest is, talking about his feelings. And then the next 3 songs are from the prison guard, who is actually part of the executioning squad as well. And then you got 3 songs from Kezia's perspective, and then 1 song from the band stepping outside and making sort of a meta commentary about the commentary, which is kind of a fun thing to do. But I don't know if you look them up and saw, like, on their Wikipedia, Rhodey, the vocalist, sort of explained it and said, like, you can look at it as the direct story, but what we're really doing is making a larger comment about the way, religion is starting to work its way into politics and power more and more all the time. And our sort of civil duty as, citizens to, act when we need to, and, see things for what they are. So it's an interesting album in that capacity.
I like that he said, like, we don't outright say that we hate Tony Blair and George Bush.
Right. We're not just going to come out and say that, but, we're making broader comments that might lead you to that conclusion,
But fuck Tony Blair and George Bush.
Yeah. Which was also something that I was feeling at the time, that sort of rebellious nature.
Back in 2006.
Yes.
What a time.
What a time.
We live in a society.
We do, and we did.
I was a piece of shit in 2006, so, I'm just going to gloss over that and just talk about the music.
Perfect.
How I feel about it now. So I think with that, I mean, we can get on into it, right?
Let's do it.
I think we're good. Although, I mean, I think we better have some beach beverages prepared. I did mention before, I'm drinking some water. I got a big old stein of water here filled to the almost brim because I drank some.
I also have some water, sparkling water of the Talking Rain variety.
What in the world is that?
It's a very Pacific Northwest brand. It's wonderful.
Nice. Well, all right.
What better to drink than water while sitting by the shore and listening to what is undeniably great beach music? True.
I mean, I could surf to this.
Oh, yeah. Or skate to it. You could skate to it.
You could skate to it. Let's kick it off with track number 1, No Stars Over Bethlehem. Holy hell.
Yeah.
So this, I was mildly surprised by some of this because it is more, I feel like it's rude to call it noodly because it's not noodly per se, but it's definitely more, it's got a lot more of that than I would expect from something that you're into.
It is. And that's what I said. This is a strange album for me. It's one that I love. I come back to all the time, but it definitely, for all the elements I do like, there's stuff that normally I wouldn't. However, the way they do it here, I appreciate. And I mean, from the point that I got into this and for the next few years, I got into a lot more, technical. I was in a deathcore band with all kinds of, technical guitar work and stuff. And so that is a part of my life. That's a thing that, is within my fandom. And I do like a lot of, like hardcore that verges into that mathcore realm. When you look at like your Curl Up and Dies or your Converges, and it gets a lot more technical, but still heavy. And I mean, this album has that stuff, but there's still enough like super chunky guitar tones and breakdowns and chuggy stuff and growled vocals and, gang vocals and things like that I'm like, oh, that part's cool. But I genuinely like all that other stuff as well.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this one, I told you before, whenever I was listening to this, that I had to do a lookup because there's a band that kept popping up on my Facebook a long time ago, and I haven't seen them in a while, called Buried Alive, like berries, like the food.
Right. Not like the actual band Buried Alive with Scott Vogel from, where were they from? I guess that band might have been from Buffalo or LA before he was in Terror. He was in a band called Buried Alive. But this is a band spelled like the fruit, Buried Alive, making fun of the name of the other band. And
it had a lot of like these kinds of elements of just like really, really thick chug with those sudden bursts of just like these fast tap licks and stuff and harmonized shit. It was fucking wild.
Yeah.
So getting into that was a whole fucking thing. And then you got, I was going to say, like I said, I could make some sidelong references to other bands. And honestly, Anthrax, as one of the primary thrash bands that I am really into, holy shit.
There is this permeating throughout this album of that is decidedly not a skate punk or thrash album. There is a lot of that attitude and vibe to the music that comes through. So I totally get that.
And like, especially with the gang vocals and stuff, just the way that they come in, like that is thrash as fuck. And then you just have his soaring fucking vocals over top of that, which are sick. The way this song and album start though is a attention grabber for sure. Like it comes in so like intense, and then when you like take a moment to look at the lyrics, this is about a sort of a priest's stance on his beliefs and beliefs on society and our place as humans versus God, and as his mission as a man of God. And there's this segment in the middle where we sort of like slow it down, and he says, someone plunged a dagger deep into God's chest, and when he groaned, it laid our entire civilization to rest. When he pulled out that dagger and marveled at the pain he could create, we stuck another in his back and sealed creation's fate. And I was like, whoa, it's hardcore.
That's cool.
Yeah, you have this view from the eyes of a holy man, seeing society as kind of having lashed out and betrayed God, and he sees it as ultimately fatal to mankind, and that like there's really nothing that can be done. At the end, he's giving a shout out to anybody who still believes that there's hope, but he obviously doesn't believe it himself. In the words of Joe Strummer, only a fool could think someone could save you.
Yeah. Hey, amen to the people that think there's still a way to help us.
Amen.
This is not a song about a holy man that has lost his faith, but one who has lost his faith in God or religion, but has lost his faith in humanity in some capacity.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. But even outside that, if you never listened or read the lyrics, this is a banger.
It's a banger. It's just straight up, just like my first listen. Honestly, my first listen to this was just like, yep, it's music time. I'm playing Quest 64 in my living room. I have this blasting over the speakers. My roommate came out and scared the shit out of me because I didn't know he was there. And I'm getting something out of the fridge, and he's like, this sounds like the Guilty Gear soundtrack.
Oh, well, yeah, I get that. Guilty Gear is a very music focused series. All the
100%.
characters are like, named after musicians and music. And there's a lot of, what a Japanese developer might interpret American, metal music to sound like and things like that. So,
but yeah, God, what a fucking opener.
Yeah.
And even also the title, No Stars Over Bethlehem, like kind of in my eyes symbolizing like the lack of guidance, the stars over Bethlehem being the ones that led the wise men to Jesus, and there's nothing. We're left also to wander.
Being as this is an album making commentary about how the religious right is starting to influence the values and morals of society and, become a bigger part of our governments and things like that. Strap in, because you're going to get a lot of biblical references and metaphors throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, it's a painful listen. Not in the bad way, but in the bad way, but in the worse bad way than if it was just bad music.
Right. And again, I suppose you might have a band that is a devoutly Christian band making songs that have a ton of biblical references, even maybe some of the same biblical references, but, sort of shifting them in a different way. Whereas this is sort of pushing back against that concept and trying to make you go, it's kind of using biblical references against the concept of the biblical references. That'll
tie into the grand reference that I will draw up at the end of the album for us.
I can't wait.
It's going to be exciting. So let's progress towards that with track number 2, Heretics and Killers.
But tonight, I drink with heathens and our finest glass for me.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
We're getting into that definitely more proggy stuff of just like, we're just throwing everything in here, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, this thing switches directions faster than you can even keep up with. It takes a few listens to, let it sink in, but
it doesn't stop you from just nodding your head to it. Like you get a good amount of time with everything to appreciate it.
And you were talking about the sort of mathy aspects. The intro to this song with those starts and stops and like change ups brings some of that, you can hear their mathy roots there.
Oh yeah. The very beginning of this, like it could be like a classic intro, like an intro to a classic metal song like this, that is just some 80s as fuck shit. And then they're just like, yeah, fuck you.
You have that beginning and then it goes into that, you hear that bass boom into that big breakdown. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, let's go into some like clean strumming with these like soaring, like high clean vocals.
They got mandolin in there. They got fucking mandolin in that bitch.
Yeah, it's it is all over the place. And like I said, somehow those opposing concepts just feel so good to me.
And it's very thematically relevant to it because you have this guy who is very clearly in conflict with himself. Like it's got a vibe of like a guy he's a preacher, but he's like at this point preaching kind of just to maintain his identity. Like the one thing that he has is just like, I'm the preacher, so this is what I do.
I have to.
But kind of doesn't represent me at this point. And it's almost infuriating in a way because it's painting this picture of like this woe is me kind of person who is like a victimizer. Like they are the one who is creating these victims that they're like feeling all this guilt over, and they're like, oh, I feel so bad for all of that. I want, like, just seeking sympathy for the pile of dead that they're standing on.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you.
There's a few lines that are exactly what you're saying, where he says, my faith in ruins, but my duty still breathes strong. I'm a parrot in a cage singing prayers to belong.
Yeah.
And then the whole end of the song is textbook of my crying, lying, dying history. And it really, this is telling the story of a priest whose faith is rattled but doesn't know any different and just keeps doing the thing to do the thing, just parroting the words that he's meant to. And I don't know if you picked up on this, and we'll get to it later, but through each of these perspectives, there is this juxtaposition of what I feel versus what I must do.
Yeah.
This is my job, or this is my duty, or this is what I had to do, versus here's how I felt about that. I didn't want to have to do it. I don't feel good about this, but I'm doing it because it's what I need to do.
Right. You definitely see more of it, I think, in our second character, where it's like, in this case, it's like, you can almost say like, oh, I'm just trapped in this system and I got to do what I got to do. You're the system. You're the guy.
You are the system. You are a symptom of your own issues.
But yeah, it's like, goddamn, it like infuriating song to actually like, dig into and stuff. It's very much, and like we see it actually, all the time in real life, where a person does something fucking heinous, and in what would be a great attempt to make things right, they're still like centering themselves in it, and it's like, no, please fade into the background. You're not like, you are not the focus of like the justice here. It is not for you. It is for the other. It's for the person you caused harm to.
And in this instance, the reason for this self-reflection and this sort of ambivalent feelings is facing the impending execution of Kezia for her crimes. Not to say that this priest never felt these things as a prison priest that is dealing with the execution of other prisoners or condemnation of people for their crimes, but this one is really getting to him and making him think about it. But it's also, instead of thinking about Kezia, it's more about him.
Yeah.
Also, I got to say, just musically, the guitar work from 242 out through the end is just absolutely amazing to me.
I mean, we can have a look at that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Gander.
Let's give a gander. Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
A lot of good little arpeggio.
Here's an interesting fact. They released this as a single and made a video for it.
Oh shit.
And the video, because it is difficult, I think, to convey this element of the story in a video, they opted to go a completely different direction. All of the band members are in full-on costume as the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz. And they are going throughout their lives being, heckled and dealt with, at their jobs or getting there. But you find out through the video, they are all traveling to where they are going to play. And when it gets to that part, they're all playing and they start flying and doing flips up in the air to all the, it sounds silly, but it is goddamn amazing.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was like, there are a lot of music videos that are just like, I mean, we made it to make a video.
Yeah.
And they just end up being very silly. If you were to talk about the fucking Other Side by Red Hot Chili Peppers is the goofiest fucking video, like, to explain. But if you watch it, honestly, I think it's fucking sick.
I just think of that one where they're like really early 2000s video game characters running. What is it? Californication.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is bad.
That it is. But all right. Let's get on to the last track in this trio. Divinity Within.
This morning there's no rods or staffs to comfort you, dressed as a target as you amble in your chains and stumble through the corridors that lead to a makeshift valley of death in the prison's backyard. Will you give us your final breath? Last night I saw you die with robots and humans. Tears prevented me in ways brought to life.
We have the thoughts of this preacher as he is seeing Kezia being led to her death at this moment, and he feels this. He is fearing that whatever she has to say as her final words may actually like stick with him and like unravel him for good.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like an interesting thing that happens that was coming to my mind throughout this is like we have throughout history a lot of like notable people who were put to death, and like if you look at their last words and stuff, it's like this like shocking or like really stirring thing.
Yeah.
But then also it's like, I don't know, what the fuck would you have to say if you were being put to death? Like, oh, this sucks, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
it's not as grand a thing as if you were to read a person's last words, they would make it seem.
Well, I love the fact that he's not only asking, himself and Kezia, what are your final words, which the end of the song, it's this anthemic, what will you say, Kezia? What are your final words? But there's this moment where, as a priest who has very specific ideas about what's wrong and what's right and what's a sin and what's a crime, because he has been told this his entire life, he's going, at the moment we're about to kill you, I'm realizing that maybe your crime wasn't that absurd. Maybe what you did wasn't that bad. And the fact that we're about to put you to death for this, that's part of what's, that's going to stick with me, and so that's a really interesting concept. We have some hard religious commentary in this one, but also some direct biblical references.
Oh, in the very opening of it, you get some classic Coolio 310. But no,
the rods and staffs.
Yeah, Valley of the Shadow of Death, rod and staff, comfort me, etc., etc. Yep. We know the one.
Yeah.
Take a look at your life and realize there's nothing left. Been blasting and laughing so long that even your mama thinks your mind is gone.
This song is interesting to me because compared to a lot of the other ones, you could take this at face value of being about two characters, but this is the one that sends the most broad and direct message. The message of the album is really in this song in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. So that's an interesting, like the interesting thing about the one line that you brought up, he says, when your crime's no longer absurd, is that like, whenever I saw that, I wasn't thinking of it so much as like, is it that bad of a thing? It's more like from her perspective, it's obviously like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
But it becomes very, very real at the moment when this is it. Like, it's not absurd anymore because now you're being put to death for it.
Yeah. You can look at it from both perspectives, I think. I think I was looking at it more as the priest going, maybe we were wrong. Maybe what we're thinking is bad isn't as bad as we thought. And
Right.
it definitely makes sense from the other perspective of Kezia being forced to face this and go,
It's like,
oh my God.
What do you have to
this
say
got real.
now that like the consequences have arrived?
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting song. I mean, and we
It's
will
wild.
find out what Kezia has to say later.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll find out what a lot of people have to say.
That's true.
Maybe
We will.
like 3 more people.
Yes, we will. We will.
All right. Carrying on to track number 4, Bury the Hatchet.
Ooh.
Hoofa doofa, as they say. Not many
They do
people
say
say that. I say
I've
it.
heard everybody say that. I'll tell you, I'm used to running with the hatchet, but burying the hatchet sounds pretty good to me too.
I feel like there's probably a line somewhere by ICP about burying a hatchet in someone's face. I feel like I've heard that.
There should be. I had a line in a song from a band that I was in that said, "I don't want to bury the hatchet. I'd much rather bury you."
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options with that
Yeah.
turn of phrase. It's got utility. It's got cachet.
It sure does. What do you think about bury the hatchet?
So, fucking heavy as shit. Like, definitely got, like, it has a different tone to it for certain. Like, it's got that beat down kind of vibe to it, which is what it's going on about.
Yeah.
You have we're talking about the prison guard now. A guy who was previously a soldier, and
Mhm.
as we have learned from such documentaries as Rambo: First Blood, training to kill, it doesn't really prep you for much else in life.
That's all you know how to do.
And it requires naturally the devaluing of life. Like you cannot take life and also value it like equally. Like there's got to be give for that to happen. And you know, he talks about basically how as a prison guard, he's not really paid to think. It's not a mental job. He is paid to maintain order, quote unquote. And because, you know, the people that he is maintaining order over are prisoners, and because of his previous work and what he has had to do for that, their lives naturally have to be devalued. So to him, rights and mercy in this place are kind of a joke.
Yeah. You know, I mean, this is some of that classic Rhodey Walker storytelling that we always talk about on the show.
We bring it up all the time.
Yeah. But the introduction to this prison guard paints a picture of a person who not only is fairly heartless and disregards life, but at least in the first portion of the song, sounds to enjoy his work.
Yes.
This is what I do. This is who I am. You know, I am a tool to punish others because they deserve it. And this is what I do. For a song that comes in pretty heavy, it does. I mean, it starts with these very brutal lyrics. And if you read them, more brutal than you would even pick up on if you just gave it a cursory listen.
Yeah.
And then late in the song, we get a very interesting musical shift and a tonal shift. It's this guy telling you about, you know, the brutality of what he does for a living. And then he's like, I swear I have compassion.
Yeah.
I swear I do. I've just been trained to disregard a person's life.
Yeah.
But there's this like super metally, like, I think it's meant to like really illustrate this break. Maybe it's not even metal. It's sort of like a hard rocky, like with the, oh yeah. And his at the end and stuff like that, that feels so like it's painting a picture of this character tonally through the character of this song. It's really interesting the way it's put together, and it definitely says something.
Yeah. So you're familiar with the Whitest Kids, right?
I very much so am.
Have you seen the sketch that they have where it's a bunch of dads sitting around talking about like spanking their kids or whatever?
I don't think I have.
Like each one is like, like it's escalating slowly, and after each one, everyone's just nothing wrong with that. And then you have Sam who's like, they're like, what's the matter, Sam? What, you don't hit your kid? He's like, nah, I've been trying something different with my kid. See, he's got this bunny and he loves that bunny so much. So, what I'll do is I'll take the bunny out of its cage. I'll put my hand over its mouth and squeeze it. And I'll look at him and he'll look at that bunny and he knows that this bunny is getting hurt because his ball hit my car again. And it's like this really just like, moment where like there's that pause and then they're just like, nothing wrong with that.
And this is that pause.
Yeah.
It's like getting like, ooh, oh. And they're like, oh, okay. All right. Everything's fine.
Where you think it's getting real and maybe somebody's coming to some sort of realization. No. No, I don't think so.
The thing I like the most about it though, is after that, it immediately goes back to that like super fast pace, like back to the way it was at the beginning and fades out. And I'm like, he has a moment of, hold on, let me explain myself, and then straight back to the way he was. Yeah. Kind of interesting.
It's an interesting little second act to the album that we're getting into here.
Yeah, for sure.
The second act of this second act certainly, I saw an opinion on it that I was like, I mean, you're right, but wrong.
I also saw an opinion on it. If you look at Genius, somebody has posted about it. And I'm like, part of what you're saying is accurate. And another part of what you're saying is completely incorrect.
I think we're thinking of the same thing.
Yeah.
So, track 5, Nautical. Yeah. Nautical. So Nautical. Let's see if we're thinking about the same thing. Would you care to read off that annotation?
Let me bring it up. This specific annotation is about a specific group of lyrics within the middle of the song that are directly referencing the prison priest's history as a soldier. Mm-hmm. And the
shout out to Mushy Mustard for the annotation.
It's not. Monotone Culprit is the annotator here that says, okay. So we've got this soldier that is asking questions, right? Yes. Sort of the questions that a soldier might ask as they are returning from war and trying to reintegrate, or even just facing, why am I doing this?
Right.
But the annotation is asking the simple questions of how the soldiers and or their families will be taken care of post-war. They gave everything for their country and are getting swept under the carpet as repayance, which is not a word, not exactly fair. that annotation is partially correct here.
Yes.
But then it says also, this song has not a goddamn thing to do with Kezia and does not belong on this album. Completely incorrect. Completely incorrect. Not only does it have something to do with this character and developing them, it is direct commentary on the main conflict being presented in this album about Kezia.
Yes.
So
yeah, like you said, again, I'm going to take it back to that classic documentary, Rambo First Blood, Part 1. It's about a guy who comes back from the war and doesn't know what the fuck to do with himself.
Mm.
And whenever he's, hassled and pushed over the line, he has one skill set to work with to handle his problems. And, the country's sure not going to do shit for him. Like, what do you get paid in? What do you get in payment for your loyalty to your country? Not much.
Not much.
You're like, the guy remains scarred, broken, unable to be a normal citizen. Like, he acknowledges openly, like, he can't exist in civil society. Like,
right.
He's incapable of just being a citizen. And country could give a fuck less, dude. They created enemies for him to go fight, and now he is relegated to the trash heap.
Yeah. There's also just a ton of symbolism lyrically in this song.
Yes.
And it feels to me like, in addition to examining those aspects of his life, he's trying to examine this situation with Kezia through the scope of his experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
The concepts of loyalty and patriotism to the best of his abilities, like through the scope of being a soldier or a civil servant, or, in the shape of a prison guard at this point, a disciplinarian, an executioner. This is the part where in the first track, there was no humanity. There was sort of feigned humanity in that I swear I have compassion.
Right.
In this one, you're starting to see the human being that's sort of trapped within the person that's been created. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's that thing where, like, he's at least able to, like, his world extends about, like, to his family on a normal day. So, like, what happens with them matters. And now he's seeing somebody who could possibly be one of his family members.
Yeah.
And that matters to him all of a sudden. And now he's just like, fucking, like, what? What would I do at this point? And what can he do?
Well, we can find out more about that
on the next track number 6, Blindfolds Aside.
Yes.
This is the most, like, 80s style thrash we've gotten. Honestly, that intro, well, it's kind of even in, like, the, like, it, like, skate punk, honestly, it gets a little bit in there. Like, that is such a fucking riff.
And it's tough, though, because, well, no, not tough. It's when you hear the first minute of the song, it's not representative of the rest of the song, because this is one of the most dynamic songs on the album that shows this prison priest going from one place completely to another.
Prison guard.
You've got this really interesting change up around 2 minutes with a guitar break. And then there's this outro that is just a completely different tone and style of music as well.
You have two sick guitar leads in this.
Yes.
You have one on the heavier side, and then you get one with that acoustic outro.
Just
And
beautiful.
goddamn.
And this is the first track where we are introduced to, I guess, the vocal part of Kezia,
Mhm.
which is played by a musician called Jadiah Kelly, who does sort of like indie, folksy, country stuff. Beautiful voice.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, she makes an entrance in this song in an unexpected, you're not ready for it to show up, and then you're like, oh wow, that's something. But that's just musically. I mean, this one lands on every possible level because it does a lot of things. But we are learning about Kezia here and what's going on. We find out in this song that the way she will be put to death is by a firing squad.
Yes.
The lyrics are something to the effect of like, we woke up as men, but tonight we're going to sleep as killers. And we've got 5 soldiers that are sedated with this no one's responsible sort of concept. Like, nobody did this, but they're clearly feeling like we all did this. Like even this asshole prison guard is seriously questioning, is this the right thing to do?
Yeah. You familiar with The Big O?
The Big O?
The anime?
Like No.
Oh, okay. Is like a mecha anime thing.
Well, you said that and I pictured that, but maybe I'm familiar with it from like a super high level of having seen something about it, but not watched it.
Well, this is a sidelong reference because it uses a phrase that also came from Conan the Barbarian, which borrowed from antiquity. Like the phrase "cast in the name of God, ye not guilty," which was apparently stamped on executioners' blades as a way of saying, this is your duty. You are not responsible for this death. This is your divine job. And it's a cold comfort. Like, it doesn't work. It just doesn't, like, time has shown that the only option to make people feel good about murder is levels of abstraction.
Yes.
Like, we've tried all kinds of things. It's like, put a little thing on the blade and say, no, it's not your fault. You're just doing the thing. And it's like, okay, that'll work for a while. Then it's, well, all of you have guns. Only one of you has an actual bullet. That only works for a little bit before everyone realizes, like, well, I'm just going to assume that it was me.
Right, exactly.
And then, you bring it all the way to today where they have to be, if the person's a little dot on a screen, who can say? If you sign the paper to tell the person that little dot on the screen is an unacceptable target, how can you feel bad?
Right. Yeah. You just, put all these layers between yourself and the actual action that you can, help you sleep at night, I guess.
Mm-hmm. With every step that you take towards making it a routine thing that you don't have to think about, makes it so much easier for you to do a heinous fucking act.
Yeah.
And you have this guy grappling with the fact that he's kind of low on that rung. He's very much like a more direct participant than all of the people above him.
Yeah. In this song also, it circles back to that concept that the priest examined in Heretics and Killers, where it's, what do I believe versus what must I do?
Yes. He doesn't really care much for the fact that he has to kill this person. Like, he doesn't want to, but it's his job, and it's the way that he puts food on the table. And it's not much else for him to do.
Yeah. And, he repeats those lines about, this is a sin to me. It's a sin I don't care for, but it's a sin. Pays my debts, feeds my children, buys my cigarettes, whatever. And then the outro at the end, it's him and Kezia singing this as a duet. And you start to realize she also, I think we're getting more hints, and it's coming into focus what Kezia is putting to death for. This sin, the crime that she committed, that she committed a sin that she didn't care for, but it's what she had to do to pay the bills. It's what she had to do to pay her children or to feed her children. And it's really interesting to take these two people that are feeling different ways about the same thing, overlap them and go, we're not that different.
Yeah.
when you really look at how we're feeling.
Right. And, who has committed the worst sin in this transaction?
Well, there's definitely a perspective that the band has about who's committing the worst sin.
Indeed.
Indeed.
It's certainly a thing that I feel like in life we question on a regular basis of like, how much am I contributing to a system of harm in what I do? Like, my job is literally dealing with insurance companies and stuff. I have said numerous times I would give up my job if we had in return for an actual healthcare system that takes care of people.
Sure.
And, at the end of the day, you do need to put food on the table. You need to keep a house over your head. That's basic survival. But there's also, at some level, a line that you have to draw for yourself as to how much can you do? What can you do that will allow you to sleep at night?
How much are you willing to compromise your beliefs and morals and values?
Right.
Yeah.
How much harm
song,
are you contributing to?
Yeah. And in this song, there is definitely a juxtaposition of somebody who has committed an objectively victimless crime that is, by all rights, a crime within the society being depicted, and that is viewed as a sin by the people around her, versus somebody who is doing something that is being viewed as not a crime because it's their civil duty, their religious duty, but is viewed by that individual as a larger sin because they are about to kill a person over something that they did.
Yeah.
So victimless versus directly, I guess the ultimate victim type crime is, taking somebody's life. So
indeed. All right. Well, now we get to step into the shoes of our penultimate character.
yeah.
The final character of the story. With track 7, She Who Mars the Skin of Gods.
Cause I am my darling, please never forget. The world's got the substance of a frozen summer silhouette. Said my mother to live some crack to love and go before she had it. So watch the like 6 feet of soil.
God, I love those riffs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Holy shit. So we get the picture painted for us of Kezia and her mother. Most of this is, her mother.
Yep.
Just kind of jaded by this society that is barely cared for her whenever, a man was in the picture, and now there isn't one. So she's nothing to them, essentially. Goddamn.
Yeah.
And you have Kezia, who has one person in her life that matters, it seems.
Yeah.
Who hasn't written while she's waiting to be executed. And the crime is left unspecified. They never really say it outright, but context, title, other things, it seems a very gender-specific purity crime.
Yeah. You come to realize, if you put the pieces together, that it seems to me that, to put it bluntly, Kezia has committed the crime of sex work.
Yes.
And it is viewed as the ultimate sin for a woman to have done what she did. Even
Right.
the title of the song, She Who Mars the Skins of Gods, it's sort of this patriarchal men holding themselves as, a god, it's, but beyond that, the imagery in this song is scary. It's heartbreaking, you know. Um, the warmest of blankets is 6 feet of soil.
Yeah.
And, you know, not, you know, she's really examining some gender roles here. The reactions of her father versus that of her mother, the commentary that's going to continue in a broader scope, especially in the next song. She's tired. She's cold.
Mm-hmm. She's
alone. She is, you know, not hearing from the one person that she wants to hear from.
Yeah. It is bleak in a lot of
It
ways.
is bleak.
And
it's interesting because these songs can be dark and violent and bleak and serious. But if you just listen to the song, you're like, are we playing Tony Hawk right now? Let's go. You know, like.
Yeah. And I mean, that's another kind of connection that I can make to Coheed and Cambria, who love writing really, really dark fucking lyrics over the poppiest fucking songs.
Yeah. It wasn't until I started reading the Emery Wars that I went, oh my God, these songs are not what I thought they were about.
And yeah, they're definitely rolling with that here. I mean, they're much heavier songs, but yeah, they're definitely ones where you can kind of overlook what's going on in them. And whenever you do look into it, it's harsh.
Yeah. I would say that musically, this is not the song that most stands out to me, but I think that lyrically and tonally, it is very important in painting a picture of where Kezia is in this story.
Mm-hmm.
So a valuable song nonetheless.
And now we can go to the song that does stick out the most musically in a lot of ways, I would say.
Yeah.
With track number 8, Turn Soonest to the Sea. This song is an odyssey all on its own. Like,
it is.
It gives so much here, and it almost sounds like just a full story. Like this is a self-contained story all on its own. Like,
yeah.
And yet there's still more to go, and it kind of I'll talk about it more on the next song. I'll stick to this one for now. And we get really a more in-depth indictment of society's subjugation of women, with marriage being like the only bid that they have for, you know, any more rights in there, but it's, you know, a prison of its own. They say the thing that you probably have pulled up already, which was really good. And yeah, like it's fucking rough and still exists, you know, a lot today. There's been a thing that's come up a lot recently. A lot of my Facebook friends have been bringing up the fact that like it was only in like the 70s, I think, when women were allowed to have their own fucking credit cards. Like they couldn't sign up for a credit card without their husband.
Yeah.
Like it's recent. It's living memory.
And, you know, no matter how much progress we make, there is still a lot of beneath the surface core thoughts and values and ideas that even if people don't speak, I think they tend to still think or believe.
Yeah.
And I think this song taps into that in a big way. First off, I will say this is one of my favorite songs of all time. Hands down,
It's
maybe a top
sick.
10 song for me. It's such scathing commentary on social gender roles and expectations, and not even just the religious views or influence on the roles of women in society, but like sexuality in general.
Mhm.
How we think about not just men and women, but how we think about sex. And there's just this sense of widely accepted and unquestioned patriarchal ideas about gender that still persist to this day. And it's interesting that this song, I always have a little bit of conflict about it because it's written and sung by a man, but it's done in a very knowing and respectful way without feeling white knightish. It's going, I can recognize this wrong. This is wrong. The characters in this story that we're trying to tell clearly have something to say about this.
Mhm.
I think truly there is not a moment in this track that isn't magical to me. But that 342 through the end of the song is just one of the most awesome pieces of music.
We get
that
a
I've ever
fucking
heard.
like anthemic ending to this.
Completely anthemic. And also to wrap up that anthemic ending of hope and message, just the most bleak, dismal possible answer to that you could get in a song.
Yeah, it's fucking like it actually kind of I've talked about the Proto Men a lot. We've listened to them on the show. You haven't, but we have.
I've heard them.
Yeah, you've heard them
because of you.
But the royal we that is Juggalo Judgment has listened to an entire album on this show. And they certainly have moments where you have this like really hopeful song that ends with, like, if you're actually looking into, the narrative that they have going on, by the end of it, that hope is crushed thoroughly. And they certainly do that in this one.
They certainly do.
Let's give a quick listen to that little indie section because it's fucking awesome.
Wake up one day with a gun to the back of our brains. You'll be asking for your name, and I'll smile and I'll call your name. Maybe someday when this bloody skull has dried, no, our city is in ruins when our greatest source of pride, a monument of dicks and ribs and the gender crown we wore, where underneath the black will read, a black will read.
God damn.
So good.
Like, we
So
ride
good.
out on that, and it's
I mean, it's like a whole chorus singing that going out.
Yep.
Only to, I mean, this is a hopeful moment, right? This,
Yep.
It's about maybe someday my death will go on to change the way people think. And, we're looking at a society whose greatest source of pride is the gender roles they held, right?
Yeah.
There's a monument of dicks and ribs, which again, biblical
Yeah.
reference there. And underneath there's going to be a plaque that reads, "No woman is a whore."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's awesome for what this is. Again, that sort of puts the final piece in the puzzle of what Kezia is being condemned for.
Yes.
And then the end of the song is a firing squad. Ready, aim, and you hear all the guns cock. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
So let's carry on to the final act of this story.
Yeah.
Track 9, The Divine Suicide of K.
I better think of my answers now, because I know questions will be
So yeah, we get a stark contrast to the way the prior song ended. And now we just have a scared woman walking to her death. Like,
Yeah.
whenever, and she kind of acknowledges that in the society that she's in, she kind of already feels like she's been dead for a while. Like, she's just kind of been woken up. Like, it's very much like, wake up, time to go to bed. Like that kind of thing. It's like, come back to life. We have to go kill you over here now. This is
Yeah, there's the lines, the resurrected to be killed, then maybe born again.
Yeah.
You know, it you know, there's some really beautiful parts from J.D. Kelly singing in here, walking one last mile. And she's even talking about, you know, I'm walking in big steps in tattered shoes that aren't mine because my owner locked up in a box with possessions that I can't have.
Yeah.
You know, they took everything away from her
Mhm.
when she went into prison. We also find out in this song that she is pregnant,
Yes.
which is a note that's easy to miss because they don't harp on it, but there is a line that makes it very clear that she is.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's almost like an irony of sorts in that, you know, she's being killed along with what this society would likely consider another life.
Yeah.
Probably
and
one that they would consider more valuable than her
and I think that's
on a
part
good
of the point.
day, on the best day.
Yeah. And I think the specific wording they used was intentionally used to point that out.
Yeah.
But there's also a sense that she got the letter last night that she was waiting for from her mother, that it's changed the way she thinks about all of this or prepared her in some capacity for it.
Yeah. That, or she did like look at the other letter that she had.
Right.
Because
there,
she says a
there
letter
was
I can't trace. So like,
that
I don't
that
know
may
if
be
it's-
true.
If she just doesn't know, it's just an anonymous letter that has somehow given her this perspective of sorts.
Yeah, it's cryptic and I think intentionally so. But in the previous song where she is talking about, you know, there's a letter waiting for me that I have yet to read because I know it's not from you, from her mother.
Yeah.
Now, it may be that letter that she's read that told her something. She may have gotten the other letter. They don't specifically say, but we know that she read something that gave her some sort of perspective here.
And unfortunately, perspective, I mean, it's great, but it is not much in the face of being killed.
Yeah. You know, and it really, the song ends out with her singing, I'll always be Kezia so long as any hope remains. And then it goes straight into a ticking clock counting down.
Yeah. It's, this is a very like emotional listen as you get closer to the end of it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of feelings in it.
It does.
And I think we can we can find out what some people's feelings on that were.
Let's do
with
it.
track 10, A Plate Full of Our Dead.
Don't ever ask us to define our morals. Sometimes when fundamentals meet teenage judgment, some of us, or all of us, have self-denials and carry heartbreak. There's almost nothing worse. There's almost nothing worse.
And there you have it. The band gives their full-throated support of the execution of Kezia. They're they're totally cool with it.
I love that the song starts with the line, don't ever ask us to define our morals. Lyrically, this one makes you think that it's possible that maybe what Kezia is being punished for is getting pregnant or having a child out of wedlock even.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of talk about, teenage love and things like that at the beginning that could all just be symbolic and a metaphor.
Right.
But interesting track that has some really interesting lyrical elements and symbolism in it.
Yeah. And, we not what I said at the beginning of this. It is, in fact, them condemning a society that cares so little for its downtrodden.
Yes.
And, at the end, they're kind of expressing like the only hope that you can have in the aftermath of something like this is that this person's death could result in them being a martyr that would help us to find our compassion as a society again.
Yeah.
And, the compassion that we laid to rest a long time ago.
Yeah. And those lines you're talking about give a little bit of context, I think, to the cover of the album, which is white flowers with one red flower in the middle, because they talk about killing a flower and spreading its seeds around to grow a garden of our bullet-laden morals. Yeah. Which is kind of interesting. I love the lines in here. If I had a gun, I'd pump your ethics full of lead. If I believed in meat, I'd eat a plate full of our dead. That part goes so fucking hard.
It does. It really does. It's
I also like there's a you and I in union, but just an I in my beliefs.
Yeah.
Which that line right there is one that I wish we could all live by.
Mm-hmm. It's I can't remember the Papa Roach line, but it's in there somewhere.
Is it cut my life into pieces? This is my last resort.
It's something about how believe has the word lie in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot in this song about not only killing a wounded horse, but a lot of metaphor and reference to beating a dead horse,
yes.
Which... it's obvious what they're saying with those types of lines, but I love that there's enough nuance to it that they didn't have to come out and, say what they're saying.
I love that they're talking about beating a dead horse by like they're beating the dead horse, beating this dead horse and talking about beating the dead horse.
Yeah. It's meta. It's interesting. They say kind of to something like, if you put, chains and 2x4s in my hand and ask me to swing them down and beat this dead horse, I won't do it, Yeah. But they, in a sense, knowingly are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have very clearly planted their flag. And
yeah. It's interesting because I think this song and many of the others are very, in a way, intentionally cryptic and full of metaphor, but somehow extremely pointed. You get the message.
Yeah.
But in doing that, they also make an album such that it's not so in your face with a story that it's all you hear. Because if you never looked at the lyrics and nobody ever told you about it, you might pick up on some things, but you would listen to this album for the individual songs and hear it as an album as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of impressive to me as well.
It's really good. And even in that opening, don't ask us to define our morals. It's like, don't ask us to do it. We're fucking doing it. Just go back and listen. Just read the things.
We just told you across 9 songs.
Does our album have liner notes with the lyrics? Crack it open.
Go on Genius, but ignore that one guy's comment.
So yeah, that brings us to the end of the album.
Yay.
That's the end of it. And I can finally reveal at the end what I was thinking of. This album is very, very Savatage to me. I don't know how much Savatage you've listened to.
You mean like the band that would become Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Yeah, but before they became Trans-Siberian Orchestra, where they were doing very similar, just fucking cutting commentary on society and the poor and downtrodden.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of lines in here that remind me a lot of like, well, why can't I think of it right now? Hey, future editing Schmeev here. Let me help you out. That would be the song Watching You Fall from the album Handful of Rain. Back to you. Whatever. They have a line in one of their songs that's Christ is risen, keep him hidden, God forbid he sees, like referring to the state of society, which is it goes so hard for I'm like, this is incredible. I post it every Easter.
I'm aware of the band. I have heard that band. It's not a style of music that I personally love, so I never spent a ton of time with it.
I wouldn't think it would go into your sound.
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying though, because I think I know that they are very much storytellers. They've got something to say, even in their albums, pre-Christmas album stuff.
Yeah.
They always had sort of a, here's what we're trying to say with this, that's kind of cool too.
Yeah. Even in their Christmas stuff, it is like, they still have a little bit of that spirit of it. But yeah, like this definitely hit me in a lot of those same areas. And again, just as an album, like story removed and all that stuff, god damn, it's bitchin'. Like they got fucking riffs. They're killing it. And again, the vocals are sick. It is very much in like you said, it's like, in that intersection where everything just kind of meshes perfectly. This definitely takes a lot of like the mathier elements and makes them it fits them into my zone, like where I want it to be. Like it gives me time to jam. It gives me time to enjoy something. They let things ride. When they have something good, they're going to lean into it. And I really appreciate that. God damn, this is a fantastic fucking album.
Yeah. I'm glad you like it. I was hoping you would.
Glad you suggested it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I will say to anybody listening that the samples of the songs from the beginnings of those songs, there's a lot of musical change-ups. There's a lot of texture to this album. Those are not fully representative of what the whole song sounds like.
There's so much more to hear.
Yeah. There's a lot to it. I urge anybody that is intrigued by the conversation and the samples they heard to give this one a listen. And honestly, Schmeev, I urge you to give some of their later albums a listen, because there are some damn great tracks mixed within them, even if I don't think any of them ever quite come together the way this one does.
I'm definitely going to have to take a listen, because this was a great fucking time.
Hell yeah.
As we do on this show, I mean, what 3 songs would you take from this album, and then what one would you get rid of? It's gonna be a tough ask, but
my 3 favorite, Turn Soonest to the Sea, is just an awesome song. Blindfolds Aside, I think, is also another one, and then maybe Heretics and Killers. I think is just a great song.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's hard to pick.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard to pick. What about you? What are your 3?
I mean, I'm with you on those first 2, Turn Soonest to the Sea and Blindfolds Aside, and that third one is a tough one. I think, honestly, Divinity Within might be my pick. I really like that one. There's a lot of good songs on here.
Yeah.
As far as getting rid of one, tough ask. It might be Nautical, actually. As much as I don't agree with that One Genius guy.
Yeah. I think that's a reasonable pick. As far as the story and commentary goes, the one that I might get rid of is A Plate Full of Our Dead, because the story has been told and the message has been sent. But I like Nautical musically, but I think as a story, that might be the one that I think is not as necessary to the album, or to that one, or maybe She Who Mars the Skin of Gods, which I love, but those are the 2 tracks that I think there's nothing that isn't strong on this album. They didn't pack it full of filler. There's not a bunch of extra stuff. If I had to cut one, it would probably be one of those.
Yeah, this is a tight 10 tracks.
Yeah.
It's a little over 40 minutes.
Yeah. Perfect.
This is right in that sweet spot. God damn. Again, this was just I would usually say a joy to listen to, and I guess in some ways it was, but it was an experience. This is a fucking experience every time.
Yeah,
and
there's some joy to it, but there's also like a lot of, whoa, okay, now I need to feel that.
A lot of pain.
Yeah. I'm super stoked that you liked it. I'm glad I made this choice over my other choices, although I think you would have enjoyed them. I think this one holds a special place for me just because there's so much to it. And when you said that we could select something, the second this one came into my head, I'm like, well, that's the choice. That's the one that we need to talk about.
Excellent pick.
Thanks.
Fantastic. And with that, I mean, where can people find you, Eric?
Well, I'll tell you what. You can listen to our weekly, we try to be weekly, sometimes life gets in the way, podcast, Twisted with Us and ICP with We, when there's something relevant to talk about. You can find all the information you need on our website, icpwwe.com. You can get links to all of our shit there. And our podcast is everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also hear me where I am a side piece co-host on the Comic Dudes with Attitudes podcast.
That's right.
Which I am part of their. I do one episode a month. We're doing 12 episodes where we are reading and talking about The Boys.
The Boys.
So make sure you check Comic Dudes with Attitudes out as well.
Absolutely. Go check all that out. You can also from icpwwe.com locate the Discord in which we hang out.
Absolutely.
The UPC Discord. There it was. My brain, man, it's just not here with me. And you know where to find me. You know, I'm Schmeev everywhere. Mainly go to that Discord. If you actually want to contact me for some reason, don't, but do it in the Discord. Juggalo Judgment everywhere. Juggalo Judgment at gmail.com if you want to email us. We're on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And I know that we haven't, obviously we're still on a bit of a hiatus, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to give you a little secret here. Just going to lean in here that me and Mike have been talking about getting stuff going again. We just need to, Mike is in the process of moving right now. He's got a lot of shit going on in his life. We always have shit going on in our life. I'm trying to buy a fucking house, for Christ's sake. But Mike's getting moved in, and whenever we're settled in, we've definitely been talking about starting it up again and getting a backlog started so we can have some content. I don't know if we'll return to our usual bi-weekly schedule, but or every other weekly. Bi-weekly. I hate that.
Because it could mean every other week or twice a week.
Exactly. It's terrible. We need a separate word. We need to make a decision. We might just go to like kind of a when we finish it deal, and might be better for us mentally and all that stuff. But we'll see. Well, we got to talk about it.
I need you both to come back because there are more Boondocks albums to review.
Mike's not going to listen to this. So I can say, I'm just going to tell everybody out there, don't tell Mike. Do not tell Mike. But I went into our schedule that has like all of the albums that we'll be doing, and I hid every row that has Boondocks, DJ Clay, and G-Moski.
Perfect. He'll be like, God, I could have sworn there was at least 11 DJ Clay mixtapes that we were supposed to talk about.
So yeah, with all of that, I feel like we did it. You know,
we did it.
Thank you for bringing an album on here. Thanks for hanging out at the Bar and Grill as always. Wonderful to have you. You're always welcome.
Thanks for having me. This was a great time. I've been looking forward to it for weeks.
Hell yeah, I've been looking forward to it since I listened to this the first time, because I was like, shit, I need to fucking talk some shit about this.
Hell yeah.
With all that, finish your motherfucking beach beverages.
Ooh. Peace.
I can't finish that.
No, same. There's still too much left.
Look at that. Look at all that water left. That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water. I still have like half a can. I've been so busy talking, I haven't been sipping.